You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Black and white sports fans, we're going to be talking about Gwen Berry once again. The news just keeps coming with her. She is getting destroyed everywhere for her disrespect of the national anthem and the flag. She calls herself an activist athlete, but yet she's supposed to be representing this country on the world stage. Now, I've been very, very clear about my feelings on this, folks. If you are going to represent this country, you need to show respect for this country. You absolutely do. And Gwen Berry has already been exposed as a fraud, as she was actually found to be draped in the U.S. flag, celebrating the country. But when it became profitable to hate on the flag, hate on the national anthem, Gwen Berry, was very, very vocal about her displeasure with the national anthem and the U.S. flag, even though she says that she doesn't hate the country. But however, her actions speak otherwise. In this era of woke sports, she's getting some support though. And I'm talking about from the WNBA. Is anybody really surprised by this? Because one WNBA player has been vocal about her support of Gwen Berry. And this WNBA player wants the Olympics to allow Gwen Berry to continue her protests and disrespect the country. Now, guys, we know that the WNBA is extremely woke. Nobody even knows the players. The only reason why anybody knows the WNBA nowadays is because of their woke social justice protests. So we're going to be talking about all of that in this video, guys. But first, we have a sponsor, so let's get to that first. Friends, I'm very concerned about food shortages coming to America. No, not local or short-lived shortages. I'm talking about a national food shortage that will affect everyone, everywhere, for a very long time. Would you be ready if that happened? Probably not. That's why I urge you to get some long-term storage emergency food from my friends at My Patriots Supply. They're the original Patriot Survival Company. Over the past decade, they've served millions of American families like yours. Their mission is your survival. And right now, you can save 25% on a 4-week kit of emergency food that will save the day. Probably soon. This 4-week kit has a wide variety of delicious food that provides over 2,000 calories per day, the right amount for optimum survival. Go to preparewithblackandwhite.com so you can claim your 4-week emergency food kit and save 25% in the process. Order a tasty starter kit for each member of your family, and they will ship everything quickly and discreetly to your door. That's preparewithblackandwhite.com. So let's get into this, guys. WNBA star Angel McCoughtry, hey Olympics, allow Gwen Berry's protests to continue. Oh boy, here we go. The woke WNBA that was protesting all last year during the national anthem. I think they actually continued on this year with the whole Black Lives Matter thing and all that other stuff. But one of their stars who I've never heard of before. I've never heard of Angel McCoughtry. Have you guys? If you have, let me know that in the comments below. I've never heard of her, but we know her now. It has nothing to do with the game of basketball. It's all because of the wokeness in sports that has destroyed sports. But it says here, WNBA superstar Angel McCoughtry is pleading with Olympic officials to ease their restrictions on political protests at this summer's event. Explaining to TMZ Sports, she wants to see Gwen Berry's demonstrations continue. Of course she does, because a lot of these WNBA players, they don't like this country either. I mean, their actions, everything that they've been doing, they pretty much hate the flag and the national anthem also, as they would bend in the knee to Black Lives Matter. And even this season, we know that some teams actually walked off the court when the national anthem was being played. But it goes on here, it says, we got the Las Vegas Aces wing, who's a 2-time Olympic gold medalist herself. I didn't even know that. Out at LAX this week. And she made it clear she liked what Berry did during the national anthem last weekend. And you can actually see here, national anthem is playing, and Deanna Price, who actually broke a world record, hand over heart, the other lady here, hand over heart, Gwen Berry, has her hand on her hips, looking very, very disgusted with the playing of the national anthem. Very anti-American. And you guys know on this channel, we're very much Americans. It goes on here. The 34-year-old Hooper said, "There's clearly still racism and social injustice in America. And when Berry turned her back on the flag during the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner to shed light on that, she had no problem with it." Of course, she would not have any problem with it. In fact, McCoughtry tells us she's hoping to see more of it when Berry, a hammer thrower, arrives in Tokyo later this month, despite Olympic officials forbidding protests from the field of play during official ceremonies and at the podiums. Now, folks, if she actually does win a medal and she does some kind of a protest, she's going to get in trouble. So let's say that she actually ends up winning a bronze, silver, or gold. It's possible, they can actually probably end up stripping her of her medal or maybe fining her or something like that. But it goes on here, says, quote, "I think there shouldn't be penalties, but there are penalties, Angel." McCoughtry says, adding, "There shouldn't be a penalty for standing up for what's right. If someone wants to protest for what's right in our country, there should be no penalties for that." McCoughtry says as long as Berry doesn't lose a medal for protests, she's urging her to continue the demonstrations going forward. Quote, "When you stand up for what's right, you leave that long-lasting legacy," McCoughtry said. "It's worth it." Okay, so it's actually absolutely worth it. But however, you don't want her to do it if she's going to end up losing her medal. Okay? So if she's going to be fighting for social injustice, as you say, you don't want her to protest if she's going to lose her medal. But I thought social justice was the number one thing. But oh no, if you're going to lose a medal, then you must be quiet. That is what Angel is saying here. This is pretty ridiculous here. I don't want to see Gwen Berry protesting anything at the Olympics, because when you're a part of an Olympic team, you're supposed to be representing your country. You're supposed to be respecting your country. But of course, WNBA players, they don't really respect the country for the most part. Maybe there are some. Maybe there's some, but it's clear as day that a person like Angel here, who is 100% backing Gwen Berry, she wants to see Gwen Berry take a knee for the national anthem, turn her back on the national anthem, I guess burn a flag on the podium if she gets that opportunity. I don't know how that would actually work. I really don't. Nobody wants to see this. But are you guys really surprised by this, that a WNBA player is coming out and showing support for Gwen Berry, who is so anti-American, that supposedly says that she doesn't hate the country, but her actions definitely prove otherwise? That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, the woke WNBA backing Gwen Berry. I guess we all should have saw this coming, folks, because this is absolutely not a surprise whatsoever. This is why sports ratings are in the gutter. This is why the WNBA can't grow, because they don't really want to relate to the everyday American. And I believe for the most part, folks, the everyday American still loves this country a whole lot, and they don't want to see any type of demonstration at the Olympics. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to Black and White Sports, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.